Yeah, that's broadcasting now. Let me just make sure. Yep, broadcasting that. Open that. Okay, cool. All right, so go to the view that you want me to.
I did it through the whole.
Okay, so the first thing I want to double check, and the best way to fix this is if you go to your properties here, you see that you can actually use a filter to get these views set up. So let's just click anywhere. So here you can see, just go back up. Let me just check here. Okay, so name, view. I just want to make sure that I'm not. Okay, so good. So level 6. So basically, in future, duplicate this view. So once for construction, once for design. Okay. Right, that will help you out a lot. So now in the view properties, so now we can go and play with how this view actually looks. And okay, so let's just scroll down to the bottom here. Okay, so basically, you can use a view template to show how everything is overridden. So the first thing I would do is go to the bottom here, and I'm going to switch this from course view to detail view. But I think in this instance, I would actually make a template to help you. So I'm going to go to Fine, watch this, and then we can apply it throughout the whole project. Fine. So you'll see now that this should change. It depends what you've done, but let's double check. Then I'm going to go to Shadows. I'm going to switch off Shadows. So click on Shadows, switch off Shadows. Okay. So now I might need to see, maybe you've changed some materials for walls. I see that you've done that as well, but that will change for the whole project. Okay, so here, I just want to show you there's a whole thing that we can go and edit. Okay, I think one of these things is closed. Let me just double check here. Why can't I see it? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Sorry, it's a little laggy. Yo, very laggy. Yo, come on. Okay, so basically what we can start doing here. So here you need to start showing, so visibility graphics, I just want to make sure display mode, normal, detail, fine. So basically what we've set here, we can start setting up here. Okay, visibility, so let's just pull this to the side a fraction. So let's pull that to the side. So just hover, yeah, let's grab that and pull that to the side. I just want to show you more what's going on in here, so you start understanding what we can do here. Okay, so graphics, display, and options. So I'm going to go and edit that. So basically, shadows. So you can actually go and preset a lot of the stuff in here. Then when you're happy with the way everything looks, like color schemes, okay, so you can switch on your shadows, hidden lines, all of that kind of stuff. Then what you can do is you can save this as a template. So in future, you can quickly switch between design, and you can quickly switch between, because if I click on a wall, if I click on a wall, for example, if I go to edit type, if I go to course mode, in course mode, I can switch this to black and it will fill sort of, but what you've done in this instance is if I go and edit the wall type, you've changed the masonry. So if I click on this and I open up these display properties, if I change this once, it changes for the whole project, by the way. So if I go to graphics now, so in graphics, so here, all that you've done, you must just switch this off, background color. So in essence, you can just literally say none and it'll sort out everything, none, because technically it'll go back to your default wall. That's all you've done. You just played with the materials. So what I'm doing now, we'll undo and press apply. Where's press apply and then press OK. Done. Let's fix it for the whole project because you overwritten. But if I went to course now, watch this. If I went to course now and I went to course, guess what it'll do? It'll change them back to black. It's just because this course view is more for a design view. Okay, so if you go and edit the wall type now, so each wall type, you can go and play with this. You can go and play with this. Now, you can even put a foreground and a background. So here where it says course, so you can put a pattern. So you can put a pattern in front and then you can put, so you can do exactly what you did to overwrite the materials. But in course view, you can, so if I change all of this to red, for example, to show what a wall, that's walls, that's new walls or existing walls. But then remember, you must make different wall types, existing, proposed. You can make them demolished and existing as well, because there, I can make it So I can make it look like that. But if I go back to fine, voila. And I can set a view template to quickly switch it from construction to design. So I'll explain that now as well. Okay. So basically, I've just got to select, and you'll see it's fixed 99.9% of the walls already. Select this guy. Again, same story, edit. So you're going to go and say edit type. Short, sorry, it's very laggy. I would recommend that you switch off your OneDrive and all those other things while we're doing this. It just, don't worry for now, next time.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry. Select this. So here you're going to go and say edit type. Then you're going to go and say edit structure. Here, on this material. So you might have to change it on the wood as well. So what are you doing is just say no fill. No pattern. Okay. I'll explain these also overrides that I would do rather. You can do overrides on these things as well. And you can use a filter to do that as well. But that's cool. Press apply. Press OK. Problem solved. I'll just see your... Let me just go back there again. I'll explain because you also have to fix your... So this plywood, you just have to fix that as well. Graphics. Let me just make sure there's nothing here. Wood planks. No, that's good. Good. Press OK. Good. Now if I zoom in, I just want to make sure. Press OK. Just go to here. And then just zoom in. Switch off your line weights. It's a little delay. I want this thing switch off your line weights. So, oh, it's over that thing. Switching something here. I just want to. Shucks. I want to switch off your line weight control there. Why won't it do it? It's this command at the top here. I just want to switch off your line weights, but it won't allow me because it's underneath that.
Does it make them the same thickness?
Yeah, I want everything thin. I'll explain. You just pull this guy. I just want to switch this guy so I can see, just to see what's going on. Okay, so I'll just pull that back, maximize that. Okay, that's strange that it wouldn't allow me to do that. Try it now. Yeah, it's because it's, so this thing is not in a nice spot. So let's see if I can move this guy. I can't. Yeah, that sucks. It's a horrible position that is. Anyway, well, we're learning. Okay, so basically, oops, escape. So if you switch off the line weights, just check if everything's good. But if everything's good now, so all you do is you zoom out. Okay, then you can see everything's almost back to normal. Then what you can do now is you can go, you scroll down here. So scroll down, and where it says, sorry, your thing is so freaking glitchy. Come on. Okay, scroll down. Where it says view template, you can click on none and you can say create. So you can say discipline. So you're going to say just for architecture, you just want to create floor plans. So now you can go and add, you can create a new one. Okay, so if you click in here, it'll create a section where it says I can create new. Why is this not allowing me to do it? So if you select, you see these are none. If you pick any one of these, architecture, you can duplicate it. So you're going to create new, duplicate. I'm going to call this working. Working. So make that working drawings. Now here, you see all of these settings in here that we can go and set now. Sorry man, this thing's very... Here you can go and tell this. So what everything's checked will be driven by this template. So here you can see detail level, coarse. So I want that always to be fine for construction. scale, I want to control that in the view, so I'm going to switch that off. So display mode. So here you say overrides. You can switch on overrides. You can switch off all of these overrides. You can see. So visibility graphics. It's controlled in here. So if I want to edit the way everything looks, and if they all apply with the same template, whatever you change, it will apply to all your working drawing views. Okay, so I'm going to press OK. I'm going to press apply. I'm going to press OK. So now you see you've got working drawings in here. If you zoom in now, you see your grids will be visible. But if I go to the top here now, a lot of the stuff it won't allow me to change. You see, I can't change that anymore. I can't change that, but I can change the scale. I can change the scale, but I can't change here. If I go to visibility graphics, you'll find that it's all grayed out because it's driven by the template. So typically how we do work is we set up these templates. So every time we start a project, we know for design, then you duplicate that template, you make one for design drawings. Then the design drawings, you change it from fine to coarse. Then you can also, and now you can go to walls. So what's interesting now is, let me just uncheck that. Alright, it's recording on my screen here, so that's good. So basically what will happen now, is if I go to visibility graphics overrides, sorry, I go to my template, so if I scroll down and I go to this working guy, and I go and edit stuff now, I can duplicate this guy, I can make this design. So in design now, if I go to visibility graphics overrides model and I go to walls, I can actually override all the walls patterns. I can change when it cuts. I can change them. All walls going forward will have this pattern and it will have a color gray, and I can make them so then background can be solid, and that could be like a red. And here I can make this like a light red. Watch what happens now. So press OK, press apply, press OK, press apply, press OK. So what it's done is change the design, but as soon as I go back to working, so I'm actually using overrides to quickly play around, get my walls the same colors. So you can actually use this a lot quicker. But what's nice is any view I go to now, any view, watch this. Working. Wow. Everything's preset, done. Now carry on. Oh yeah, but I want it back to design.
Okay.
It's quite neat. Then you're just managing the view template. So here in overrides, you can switch on and stuff. Here I can make this also, but maybe I don't want to do an override. So if I go to model override, here you can say clear all overrides. So if you select everything, Control A. Control A. Come on, sometimes this thing's supposed to see where the overrides are. I can say, if I click on anywhere, I can say clear overrides. There's a function here where it allows you to, click there, clear overrides, and it'll clear it everywhere, so there's no more overrides. But in design, maybe I want this to be coarse. So design level, coarse, I'll explain, coarse, press apply. And an annotation object, so an annotation, so here in annotation, watch this, annotation, I don't want to see grids, so I can switch off grids, I can switch off section markers, I can switch off elevation markers. Voila, I can switch off section markers. Now it's in coarse view. Now whatever I set this wall type as, but if I want to, I can also turn this wall. There's a phase here which says created phase. So now this gets quite complicated now. I can actually change this wall to be an existing wall, not new construction, but it can become existing. Okay, so this wall you can change the phase. Let me just check your phasing. I wish I could hide this. Unpin toolbar. Ah, okay, that makes sense. Oh, so it means, okay, good. It means it might just jump back in that, but no, that's way better. So if you go to manage, and now there's phases. So there's existing and new. So phase filter, you can show what existing does. So you can actually change existing. You can override. If it's on an existing, it can look a certain way. The materials you see here, cut pattern, hidden. So if things are existing, okay, so maybe this wall should have been an existing wall. So if face created, this should not be, I must change that thing's face to existing. Okay, so this should have been an existing wall rather than a new wall. Okay, so you can change these to existing. Face demolished, so this guy should be existing, but why is this arrow not allowing me? Let me just see why it won't do this. It's not allowing me to select existing. Oh, there we go. So, don't know why it's done that. You see what it does when it becomes an existing wall. So in phases now, this gets very complicated now. Takes lots of management to get this right. But in graphics overrides now, anything that's existing, you can say, do not overwrite, clear override. So it keeps the projection, but in pattern, say clear overrides. So there's no overrides there. Here, when it comes to this, you're going to say it's going to have a solid fill of that, and that's that. So any new wall that is, okay, wait a minute. Let me just say, why did it do that? It should have managed phases. So this guy should be, so patterns. Oh, that's why. And then this must not clear override. So it's a nice solid line. It looks like the rest, but it's always grayed hatch. That's an existing wall maybe, you understand? Now from a design perspective and from a modeling perspective, it makes sense because that's an existing wall, that's a new wall. Okay, so that's an existing wall, existing wall, existing wall, existing wall, existing wall, that's a new wall, that's an existing wall. Okay. Makes a lot more sense. But now what's neat is I can at any point go back to working drawings and now I get all my other stuff back. Just in the working drawings, switch off elevation markers. It's only time you want elevation markers in a bathroom. You don't want these things polluting your views.
Okay.
Okay. But now I can control everything here by using these guys. Okay. Cool. I've got 2 more minutes and then I've got to run. Just remember, you can't change a lot of stuff, so you might have to, you can switch off what's called, let me explain this last setting. If you want to carry on setting things, then you can just remove this, say none, then there's no template, then you can carry on existing changing. If you go to VG now, you've got full access to all of this stuff again. Okay, I can change that again. Okay, so it disables what you're doing here. Then what you can do is you can, on the view, you can make this, if you right click on this, you can say create view template from view. So whatever you set, it'll create a new view template based on what you've set up here and then take it forward. And then you can get rid of the other one and rename it. So you can set up the view now and then create a view template from this view, then apply it.
Oh.
Then you can apply it in there. So this actually copies what you've set up here and creates a view template from it, then you apply it. It's the best way to work because then you don't have to go to each view and change the settings, go and change the settings. You make a view template for different scenarios. Voila.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say it's complicated, but there's a lot involved what's going on. So if it gets too much, disable it, try what you're doing, then create a new view template from it, and then make other points match that view template. Okay. Cool. What's next?
So I think, that's how I changed it. I want to know if that's an override when I changed it.
No. You've literally set it. Okay, let me explain. Let me explain this. So in visibility graphics, if you go to object styles, then you're driving it for the whole project. So if you change it in project styles, it changes everywhere. Okay. This is not an override. This is a setting that you've set now to make these things. But everything solid's fine. Line pattern's fine. This is not, as long as you didn't go and play with all of this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so like furniture. So let me show you this. What I would do, this is very important. It's a good thing that you've touched on this. Your furniture objects. So what I do in furniture, so here in furniture, I'll go to line pattern solid. You'll find this got subcategories. As long as you haven't changed this header, that must still be dashed. But typically, it's everything solid. Okay. Let's go to furniture. Furniture system. So furniture, this must always be grayed for the whole project. Anything that's furniture, furniture systems, grayed. And what I do, especially now with your drawings, I've noticed is projection lines, make that 1 as well. And make that 1. Make it the thinnest layer, because furniture, I'll explain, it might change now. You'll see that your furniture gets nice and thin now. And it's secondary. It's stuff that's always in the distance.
Okay.
Okay, if they don't change, then you have to do some other overrides. But then, instead of this gas hob, I want to change this gas hob to be grey everywhere. You right-click and you select all instances in project. It selects them everywhere. Right-click, override graphics by element. Here I can override the graphics for all these objects in the entire model. And any view. Then I can override it to be grayed out or whatever. I'm not going to do that now because technically that is correct the way it's displaying. But now all your furniture objects look nice and thin in the distance. They're not competing for dominance in this view. Okay. So that's the key with furniture. Check how nice and neat the drawing's already. Just a few clicks. Sweet.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to stop this quickly.